Alright, I am Russell Wright, and I am running through the miter saw today, otherwise known as the chop saw. This is a saw we use probably most compared to all of our other saws. So, to start, I will teach you how to open it up. There's a locking mechanism right here. It's a little peg that slides through, and in order to open it, you'll want to push it down, just so, and then pull it out, and then it will come up. And then you can chop things. And there's this retractable safety shield. Don't rely on that, but it's there, and it removes itself when you're coming down to cut. I usually it shows right here. There's a little symbol that says "Don't put your hands here." It's a very good idea to at least keep them out here, so you're not. If it jerks or if you hit something hard in the wood, it's not going to drag your hand into it and get your fingers hamburgered. So, I'm going to lock this back up like that, just like that, and show you ways that this can adjust. Excuse me. This can adjust down to the left, and down to the right by adjusting this, by twisting this thingy-majigger, I'm going to call it that for now, but there's this lock handle in the back, and you'll want to move that to one side, and then you can roll this to the left and right. Allowing you to get some pretty crazy cuts in. We don't use this often, but occasionally we run into a job where being able to twist this saw left and right at these angles just is really helpful. There is also a bag that catches the sawdust that it shoots out of here, because there's a vacuum that will suck most of the sawdust into this, and you want to make sure you empty this out occasionally. And if your saw is having troubles, check this. It's not a big deal, but it's good upkeep to make sure that is clear of not stuffed full of sawdust. Righty then. Always. First thing you do before you try to cut anything is you check your plug. This isn't a particularly long plug, so it doesn't pose a large tripping hazard, but when you are plugging it in, you want to make sure you're practicing proper plugging etiquette. So if somebody trips over it, you don't want to get it yanked out or something like that, so you want to wrap your coils around like a knot and then plug them in. And probably the best way to know whether the chop saw is on or not is when you open it up and it is plugged in and on. You won't see it right now, but when you open it up like this, you'll see a red line right here, a laser. And it's not perfect, but it helps on cuts occasionally. Always do 2 measures, cut once, always do that. Alright. Over here, there's ways to adjust it, not left and right, but angle-wise. You can move it. There's a lock that you pull this up to move it. There's a couple places where it naturally locks, like at 0 degree, at 0 degrees it naturally locks itself, but if you're trying to do something like right here, you're going to have to twist this in order to lock it, otherwise it would move on its own. See, I'm untwisting it. It moves on its own. But really what you want to do is you want to pull this lever, move it to where you want it, let it go, and twist this in so it will stay, and then you can cut freely. Just keep in mind that when it jerks, it might jerk differently. If I'm doing a cut here, it's more likely to pull my hand into the saw. You don't want that. Nobody wants hamburger fingers at school, no matter how tasty that sounds. So I've run you through adjusting it this way. I've said how to lock it. I've said how to adjust it this way, and the clearing out the sawdust bag, and proper cord etiquette. Now I'll show you how to change the blade on the chop saw. So first things first is make sure it's unplugged and make sure the off button is put to off, because it's just a good idea. If you want to keep your fingers. Unlock it, and you see this screw here? You'll take I think this is a Phillips, a plus head Phillips, and you will take this screw out if you're changing the blade. Otherwise, don't mess with this. So you'll spin this way in order to take the screw out, and on this screw there will be like, I guess you could call it a safety washer and a washer, and it goes normal washer, safety washer, nut, or bolt. See? There's two things here. I seriously doubt that these will come off and you'll have to do it, but there's regular washer, safety washer, screw, and that's how it should go. I'm going to carefully put this right here and keep track of little things like that. So once you get this out, you can pull this safety window down, and then you need a wrench in order to open it up. I have the wrench here already, and in order to twist this to get the saw off and not have this whole thing spin along with it, is a nifty little thing that there's a button over here. Come over here. Try to get a shot of that button. Come on, all the way over. Stop. You want to hold this button down. Right there. There's a little black button, and it should be flush with the face it's going into. And in order for that to happen, these are on the saw in several places, but you'll need to make sure you rotate this to a point where it can go and line up with this. It doesn't go in all the way right now, but when I line up that hole, it goes in all the way and it locks. It doesn't twist when it's locked in like that. Right? Yeah. It's not twisting there. So come back over to this side. So now I'm gonna get the blade in place. So I'm twisting it around, trying to find where that is going to plug in somewhere. It will eventually. Be very careful when you're doing something like this. After all, your hands are on a saw. And damn, why isn't it working? Liquid starch. Just ignore me for a minute, please. Anyway, so you'll have it locked in position so the blade won't spin, and then you'll take a wrench, and you'll loosen up the thingy-majigger, and you'll take it out carefully. After all, this is kind of a saw, and it's not super heavy, but it is kind of heavy, and it is kind of sharp. You don't want to drop it and like poke your foot or something. See, this is kind of a unique piece of bolt type dealio. It's got this side for the thing and this side to twist it. Anyway, it's got another piece that's kind of protects the blade that you take off, and you'll want to set that aside carefully. And then just to easily access getting the blade out, I usually push that up, and I'll carefully pull the safety thing out of the way and rock it off. It does hang on a small lip right here. I'll try to show you. You gotta slip it in past everything and get it to where you can get this whole thing on over that lip. And then, so let's just say I took that blade off, set it aside, and now I'm inserting a new blade. So now I take this other thingy-majigger and place it where it belongs, which is right here, carefully, making sure everything's lined up. And then you'll take this and twist it I swear this goes here. You saw me take it out. There we go. You place it in, you twist it as tight as you can with your hand.
Looking for it, or was it a drawer?
I'd say.
I'll be right back, guys. What?
Here we go. All right, I got it.
And then I'd make sure you have it locked, so you can tighten it up a little bit more with the wrench, because you want that puppy on there nice and tight while you're cutting things. You want it on there nice and tight, just because you don't want a saw spinning 1,000 RPMs to come off and cut you up and stuff. And the final step in this is to put the screw with the washer, the safety washer, and then the screw, or bolt, small bolt, in its position, which is right here, right where it says Hitachi, what's it? You'll twist it in there, and you'll take a Phillips screwdriver, and you'll tighten it in nice and tight, and then there you are. You just sort of theoretically replaced a blade. So I've run you through how to adjust it this way. I've run you how to adjust it this way and this way. The emptying the sawdust catch thing, keeping your hands away from the blades, the on-off switch, proper cord etiquette, and always wear safety glasses. I'm sure if anybody remembers me when you're watching this and is there talking about me, they'll probably say something along the lines of, Russell never wears safety glasses, and well, I should. So, wear them. I think that's it for this one. Hello, Russell Wright again. I just had to finish up something that I forgot to go over with you fellas. And do that on the chop saw. I've talked about how you can adjust and have safety locks back here and over here, but this side, there's a way to allow yourself to have longer straight cuts by twisting these locks. You can pull it a further distance this way, enabling you to do a longer cut and cut in and things like that. Compared to the other things we do, I'd say we use this second most often, as occasionally we come across a piece of wood where we're like, we need a little bit more cut room, and this usually allows us to have enough space to get those cuts in, along with being able to change angles both laterally and vertically. And
I know we have one, but I don't know where it is.
yeah, thank you very much. Russell out.